All right, we have the 2023 Fall Major. Wow, that long. It was like a year or two after they started the game that we started getting majors. So this is like our fifth or sixth Fall Major. Excellent. Let's see what we can do. So what this is going to be at, they say. So we're going to see because the news feed says that the Fall Major is at Greenock Point and it's a rework. So they did rework Greenock Point once before. So I don't know if this is a third rework. This is my absolute favorite course, and I love the original configuration of the course. But I have no idea. So I am gonna go out and we'll play them all just to see if they did change or what they've done. So I have no idea. I have no idea what to expect. So we'll just go play them. What is hole number one? Let's switch up balls here just so I'm not. Let's make sure I got a couple and an APOC bag, an extra mile bag, a rock bag. Let's take a big topper bag. Make sure we have that in the stable, and a Thor's hammer bag. I got all my drivers covered. All right, let's go look at hole number one. Hole number one. All right, there is a way in the past with a Kingmaker getting over, and we didn't have to use. I think what I did on this was put max topspin on and then pulled the ball back to where that topspin worked. That way it gave me a little separation from the red line. And I was doing, in the past, I think I was doing like a 10, maybe 15% adjustment on the drive. We'll see. We'll see where we're at. I'll start with the 10 and we'll work from there. Let's go. Let's go. We should. I think this is probably better served with the Kingmaker just for the side spin. And the whole deal is to try and get it so that we don't have to do any overpower. That would be ideal. Because what we want to have happen is a second bounce rough bump here. Now, you can lay it up off the green, but I'm telling you right now, no matter, even if you got lower developed stuff, you've got to bring out whatever you have in your inventory to try and get on the green or on the fringe in one. And yes, there are tons of different ways to lay it up here, but the shot for the cup is the way. Now, you can also come at the cup using this island and bringing it up through the front here and trying to lay it up right here in front. And with this wind, it will be a little dangerous to do the rough bump. A little dangerous. Now, the problem with curling it like that is you got to watch your second bounce, because there's a big risk that the second bounce, like the first bounce is fine, and then the second bounce is bam, in the sand because you curled it around on the arc. And you got to be real careful about using curl there. You got to watch that second bounce like a hawk. Okay, max topspin. Now let's pull back a little from the red line. Three, 6. Let's do 20% because we got a headwind. Times 3.6 divided by 2. 2.2 rings. There's 2, and that puts me 2 in the power. I'll rub the nubs. Hitting it perfect. And we'll see if that gets us anywhere. Close. Pretty close. Pretty close. That was with a 20% adjustment. That might be it. Plus 20. And I used a extra mile and a Titan and max topspin. I'll have to go back and watch the video to see where I pulled it back. Because I pulled it back from the red line. Par 4. Number 211. All right. we got some basic notes. We have to get an eagle on that one. And we want to try and make it as easy on ourselves as possible. If we would have had a really big headwind there and we would have had to really start to pull up against the red line and really do a overpower, it might be better to bring out a bigger ball. It's always difficult when you're doing those second... Excuse me, I got the freaking hiccups now. It's always difficult to do the second bounce rough bumps when you got to do overpower. Hold on, I got to get rid of these hiccups. All right, we'll see if I got rid of them. Once I start getting the hiccups, man, it's the one bodily thing like that really, once that gets going, it's really hard to get rid of it, and it lasts forever. I'm not a big fan of hiccups. It might be my Achilles heel. All right, what do we got here? What do we got? Hole number 2. And as much as I like this course, I can't remember the holes until I see them. All right, we have 2 racetrack holes, this being one of them. Now, I'm curious to see what they've done here, because there is a way to go at it. The last time we were here, it seemed like they did some slight little tweaks on it, and there still is a shot where you can go right at it, and if we bring out a club that's got backspin, we can try and bring it down the hill and come towards the cup. There is a rough bump, but the rough bump seems a little different now than it was in the past, and I'm not sure it might be just way too dangerous. Or we can just throw it out there. And throwing it out there is like standing with your back to the fairway and just throwing the ball over your shoulder, and sometimes it goes in, and most of the time it's just close. We'll see. Let's go look at it. These holes have been, if you think that these holes are racetracky right now, these holes have been completely redesigned, and they ain't nearly as racetracky as they were before. Shit, man, these were like Bristol, and if you're a NASCAR fan, huge ass, you just throw the ball out there and it goes where it's going to go. The other one, we used to be able to play it to the right and get a little bit better run at it, but this one here, I think the last time we played this in a tournament, I was trying to do the dunk. I was trying to do a dunk, and if you miss the dunk, you can just use the backboard and it'll come right back to the cup. Now, if you did that straight shot at it before, you were going through the trees, and now the trees don't seem like they're in the way. And it was one of the things about going straight at it is that you couldn't use any curl, and you had to hit it perfect, because if you didn't, you were going to clip the top of the trees on either side. But my opponent was just aiming at the cup right there, and it looked like it was pretty straight at it. Yeah, that part right there is different. I have no freaking clue. Let's just do a straight up shot, whatever we do. It's 3.3 divided by 1.7. Now, if we did a straight up shot, it's 1.94 rings. Let's do 2. And we'll see. It's kind of cool that we don't have any trees right there. Isn't it perfect? And hit the flagpole. That's funny. And that was way in front of it, so I probably needed to do at least a 10. Maybe 15%. That's one way. I would have liked to have seen that go where it missed and went up behind it just to make sure that it was getting enough suck back, because it doesn't seem like there's this big a backboard here, or the backboard's different than it used to be. It used to be pretty much like this on all sides, but now it seems like over on this side it flattens out and it's not as bad. We can do the racetrack thing there, but I'm not sure. The thing about that racetrack deal is not all of those shots, but a lot of them you're adding curl, and it just, I mean, that's such a huge variable. It's just hard to get consistent. If you make a shot on that, I want everybody to jump up and down and high five everybody in the room, because that right there, if you, that's a good, these two racetrack holes that are on here. The other one, the way that they've changed it, it actually does have a shot, but this one, it still seems pretty gimmicky. So if you ever make a hole-in-one on here, that is a big deal in your round, because that's something that a lot of people are not going to get. Hole number 3. Now the par 5s in Grundy Point used to be brutal beasts. And this one here, I'm curious to see how we're going to play this, because originally this area, it looks like this is the new configuration. That we only played to here, but the new configuration, it's probably better to always play to here, although you can still play out here. But the thing about playing out here is you need to be pinpoint placed. If you hit too far, you'll be behind those trees, and you can still get up on the green, but it hampers your shot. And if you're too short, you won't be, you'll run into a distance problem. There used to be a tree right here that cast a shadow out into and you really wanted to be right in that shadow, and that cleared you from the trees and gave you a straight line to the cup and gave you good distance right here to bounce down. But I'm going to be going over to this side and try and take this shot, and you have two things that you can do. There is a rough bump, but there is also just a straight up shot with a sniper. And I've tried them both, and I'm not sure. The rough bump is kind of more on the I side than on the T. And so it is a little dangerous, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll just go practice. We'll just go practice it and see what the deal is. I think on the drive, in the past, I always used a rock because it had the distance we were looking for, and we really need curl on the drive. And I think I was only using, I don't even know if I was using 3 topspin. It might have just been 2. It wasn't very much. And if I remember correctly, I'm setting the shot up. I'm giving myself 3 rings of separation. Yeah, this is, let's look at the green down here. I don't know what they've done. Well, this down here is definitely different. You can try and make it over to that other fairway. Let's switch to this bag. I'm just wondering if I couldn't curl that around and get a bounce right in here that would clear that. This seems a little different down in here. 2.5. I'm going to wait. I will wait. Wait her out. This is why we're practicing. So we don't have to, we can think about what we want to do. That area down in there does seem like it's different. Now, I think before there was a way for us to try and bridge the gap to get over into that other fairway, but it was different than this. And I might be thinking about a different hole. And I think I am. Maybe. Maybe 3. Usually when I play down into that spot, I do at least 10%. We'll see if my opponent gets it. And that actually is they're lucky that clipped the rough there. If it would have kept it rolling another 3 or 4 yards, those trees would have hampered them. Good job, my man. Let's bring out a Kingmaker instead. Because I think that that spin is going to be... I'm going to do 2, and I'm going for the... If I added on 20, that would be 5. That'd be 2, 8. 2 rings is 3. So I'm going to do a little less than 2. One ring grade on the outside. Would have needed to... I couldn't really do any overpower down in that area. And a topspin boost ball, my trajectory was slightly off. Part of that was the grate to the right. But even if I would have hit it perfect, I don't think... I would have been in a narrower part of that rough area, but I don't think I would have bled through to the other side. If you want to get over consistently, it might take... You could squeeze it in there just a little teeny bit closer. I was 2 rings off of the transition. You could pinch that up a little, and that would bring a little bit more angle to it. But distance-wise, we might have to bring out a topspin boost ball. I suppose if you run a bigger ball, you might be able to overpower and hit to the other side and really get a launch. My opponent is how many shots have they taken? They've taken 2, I've taken 2, and they're going to make theirs. We can recover from down there. That's good news. We're at max club. 3.6 divided by 2. Right. 2.16 rings. .16. There's 216 exactly. Oh, and that was not great. That was great. I thought it would roll out a little bit more, so that's a little there's a funnel area right there, and it will, if you can clip that area, hit that area right, I think we have a pretty decent shot at the cup. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right, what do we got? What do we have? Hole number 4. What is hole number 4? Is this the other racetrack hole, or is it the non-racetrack? It's the non-racetrack. There's a rough bump that we can do here. Let's make sure. I'm not sure if it takes a Goliath, but let's make sure that one of these bags has a Goliath in it. Just in case. Let's go see what it's going to take. Practice, practice, practice. Hole number 4. Now, there's several of these types of par 3s that are, I get them confused. They're basically the same deal. They must have some stock par 3 that they use when they don't want to design a new one, because there are several of these par 3s that look pretty damn close to each other. You can tell the difference when you get out there, but if you're just looking at a raw photo like that, it doesn't look... With a 3 Powerball, I am at max club with a sniper. So I suppose, though, what we could do is switch this up to a navigator. And that will put us in our driver range. That's too close to the red line. On headwind days, we could use a marlin and use our driver, and on tailwind days, we'd have to bring out a bigger ball. I don't know if this ball is even going to get me there. I'm not sure I have a ball that'll get me there. You might need a bigger side spin, like a 0 power 5 side spin ball. This hole just doesn't seem to be ringing any bells with me. That they redid it, and like this hole right here, it does seem like this is the first time I played it. Let me switch to a 0 power ball that's got more side spin and see if that would get me there, because I don't think I can get there. That's not enough side spin. Swap the ball out. Okay, so you'd need a 3 side spin ball. So we'd have to switch. I think we're going to need to switch to a Kingmaker so we can play it with our sniper. And we won't have enough room to work the wind out. Our max club, plus 20. That'd be 5, that'd be 2-8. Minimum club, there's 2-4. 8. Hitting it perfect. El Perfecto with 0 time left on the clock, I'm sure. Yeah, you'd have to play that with a 3 side spin ball in order to push the to get there with your wood. If you wanted to do that rough bump, so you'd have the side spin. The other way, there is a little bit of a red line between the sniper and the driver. Sniper hits 172 and max club for a wood is 180, so there's an 8-yard red line. You could tighten that red line up by bringing out like a Cataclysm or a Big Dog, and let's see which ball would. We're gonna have to play. I'm gonna have to think about how I want to play that hole. I kind of like that rough bump there. Anytime we can do a rough bump, it's always good to try and see if you can do it, because it does take out, especially in pro and as you go up the scale, because it does take out secondary wind effect for subsequent bounces. And so, as long as you can get your adjustment right to the first hit in the rough, it rolls out fairly true. I'm gonna work that hole this week. I'm not sure how I'm going to play it. Hole number 5. All right. What is hole number 5? Now, unfortunately, I like this hole, and they've reworked it, and they've made this hole a lot easier than it used to be because of the work that they've done down here. This whole fairway used to not be here. So if you left yourself too short down here trying to go for the green, there wasn't a shot and there was no place to recover. You had to go this way. But now, if you're in a bad spot, you can always bounce off of. You can have bounce number 1 and then bounce number 2 and get over it. I'm just curious to see what more they've done to this hole to screw it up. When this hole originally came out, the cup, the green was like a bowl, like a freaking funnel, and everything did kind of lead down towards the cup, and they smoothed it out. They've redesigned this hole several times. This is not going to be the first time. And knowing them, it won't be the last. They keep fucking with Greenock Point. Greenock Point's my favorite course, but it's like they keep making it easier and easier and easier. Greenock Point, one of the things I liked about it was it taught you to pinpoint play, that it was more important to be at 272 than it was to hit it 570 yards. Because hitting it long wasn't going to help you, it was going to hurt you. laying it up at 272 was the spot, and so it really kind of taught you how to pinpoint place shots. And there's a lot of curl shots like drive where you really got to have the shots, have taken the shot several times so that you can set it up. And I've seen some people try and do this the last time we played this, where they were trying to get over, and if they put a little bit of curl on it to try and cut that lane through there, they might be able to make it over. But it's very likely that they'll end up in the rough. They'll get over but end up in the rough. That was nice. That was nice. That dog will hunt right there. That dog will hunt. Yeah, they've changed this all around down here. So in the past, I've always used my number 1 bag. And this is another one of those holes where we want to, at the +3 mark, that's way too much topspin. I think maybe just 3. 3 and a titch. 2, 3. Isn't it perfect? Just laying it up. I left a lot of distance on the table as far as going forward, but I really want to see what the look is coming into this hole, because a second ago when my opponent was taking their turn and it swung back, it does that swing back around and you can see where the flagpole's at from your position. It looked like the flagpole was way downhill from where they were at. All right, here we go. Let's see, what do we got? There is a rough bump, that's what we're trying for here, and I'm too short. How much distance did I leave on the table? I left quite a bit, and that distance that I need is either bringing out a bigger ball so that I can do that rough bump, or I've taken 1, I've taken 2. Let's see what that rough bump, let's see how much farther, like if I did get that little bit of extra distance, whether that would have been enough to get me in the rough bump range. Before, if you could get up kind of level with the sand trap that's to the right of where I'm at, you had an opportunity for the rough bump. If you couldn't consistently get to the area, you could bring out a 4-power ball to help you get down into that, or we could bring out I could have brought out a bigger wood. Okay, 2.4, 2.76 rings. .76 rings. Here's 2.76. Isn't it perfect? And I was trying to be slightly left of the flagpole, and I did a 15%, and maybe a 20. Add a little more. It seemed like it always rolled out a little more to the right, so I was trying to start off on the left-hand side of the flagpole, but we do have a shot there. Let's look at that hole. Either doing what my opponent did, where you're trying to get over in here. What I didn't like about the way my opponent's shot looked was if we draw a line to the center of that flag, that area out here, you're having to get a bounce here and then go over the sand. If you wanted to miss the sand and you wanted to be more on this track, where you were just, then you put this fairway into play, because you're almost wanting to bring the ball like this so that it can stay away from the sand, and then on the other side it'll just end up, you could get over and it'll end up trailing off into the rough. If you could set your ball a little more to the left and then try and bring it this way, it'd be even better. But there is options that we can do to get over to the other side, and a little teeny bit. But my opponent did it with a freaking Navigator, so you can definitely get it done with a low power ball, but I think a bigger power ball might even help us more. I'll look at that, because if we can get, like, there's a beautiful shot from here. That rough bump is beautiful. But I mean, if we can take that same rough bump from here with a long iron, that might even be more beautiful. Since they've changed it, I will, as the week goes on, that's something we definitely want to look at there. Hole number 6. What is hole number 6? All right, I'll be curious to see how they change this hole. Now, this area over here does look different, and I know in the past, trying to hit down in here, it does look like they've changed this area a little. And trying to get down in this area, and you're going off in this direction, and with curl you're trying to get bounce number 1, and then bounce number 2 you're flying, trying to end up in that area, which is short iron to the cup. Let's see how it works. Let's go look at it. You can go to the left. The problem that I have with the left is the second shot, unless you can get way over to the left and kind of up high, like tuck yourself in, the angle to the cup that you have is not really the best shot. If you can get in that center fairway that I'm trying to hit to, that is really gives you a pretty good angle to the cup. We'll have to see if they move the pin placement, because the original pin placement is not too bad, but they did this once before where they moved the pin placement, and the newer pin placement sucks. Now you can still get down into that area with a 3 power ball. It might actually be shorter. I'm not sure you could get down there before with a 1 power ball. Maybe. Maybe. We will bring out the big stuff. Shit. Doesn't that look like it's just way too short? Like before, I've seen people do this with a 5 power ball and not get stuck up, but like I'm thinking if I hit that right there with a 5 power ball and get over to the other side, they've shortened that up. I'm going to end up in that sand. We'll try it. Let's make sure I'm 3.5 rings off right there. 3-1. Got spin on this ball. I do. One ring great on the inside. Now it looked like I was going to overshoot that. And I think with tailwind, it could be close. Now that looks totally different. So they've really jacked her up. I can't believe that some adventurous golfers haven't come out here with a freaking blower and blown that fucking sand off that fairway. The greenskeepers have allowed the sand to get up on the fairway there and get out of the sand trap. All right. I'm going to just do a straight up shot. Straight up. There's min. There's max. There's mid. Mid. Kingfisher. Mid Kingfisher 16226.319. I'm going to do 19. 3.2 divided by 1.9. 1.7 rings. 1-7. Oh! Hit one ring great to the right. Just missed it. I think a perfect might have smoked the edge on the other side, but it would have been super close. Like it's either 0 or 0 plus 0.1, or it's right there. I was at 3/4 club, and minimum club is 2-2, and mid club is 1-6. So that's 6 points. Half of that's 0.3, so 1.9 was the quarter pull or quarter position. Homemade slider. All right. That hole right there is some low-hanging fruit. It doesn't want to fall in your basket. You have to pull it off the limb, but it is definitely there for the picking. That is a great hole for us to try and pick one up, at least like once in a round. And that's a great hole right there. Hole number 7. This is the other racetrack hole. The other racetrack par 3. And they've changed this one because it used to be the primary way to go was this way, and there was a secondary way on this side. And a lot of people took this. Probably the average golfer just went the racetrack, but there was a lot of people that did play. Now I think most people are going to play it to the right. And I think I was starting off way back here and trying to run it up. Trying to run it. All right. Let's just go play it. This, I think, is one of, there is a shot here that we can find a spot and work out the adjustment so that we can get to the cup. There's definitely a spot here. Kmart sucks. If I can get an opponent. The German Eagles. Welcome to the channel. I go first. All right, it seemed like there was a spot like right here. And I was wedging myself up so I was 5 rings off the sand, 5 rings off the rough. I'm just wondering if it'll get there. It looks like it's downhill to the cup. Just wondering if it'll roll that. 3.9. Where am I at in my club? There's max. There's min. So I'm at min club. 1.2 per ring. Divided by 1.2. 3.9 rings. Hitting it perfect. Now let's see if it has enough steam to roll all the way down. Nope. Gonna have to get that. If I moved it forward, or if I put on any more topspin, the ball guide disappeared. And this is definitely the racetracky side. Let's see if my opponent can get it done. Perfect. I'm not sure. I'm eyeballing your adjustments and then coming out and practicing with the eyeball adjustments. I suppose just so you can get some time and grade on the hole, just so you can make sure you know what the hole looks like and what clubs and balls to bring out. But I don't understand the wind ring. Like, the wind ring method has been around for long enough, since the very beginning of the game, a couple months after the game came out, that what amazes me is people that have been playing for a long time and got 25,000 games in there still just eyeballing it. Birdie. In the hole. One of my teammates was commenting on these signs that they put out on the course, or one of my viewers commented that the signs they put out, there's a lot more signs out on the course. Every single person who plays Golf Clash needs to send in a thing asking Playdemic, look, if you want to make money off of the signage that you've put out on the course, fine, but take the fucking things out of play. All right? You don't go out to the golf course and they have shit out there that's movable for OK tires, and then like you hit on it and they're like, well, hey, that's it, dude. You got to hit behind it. Okay, what do we have here? Hole number 8. This is the one that this hole here. This hole doesn't even bear any resemblance to the previous hole. Shit, I can't even remember what the other hole looked like. And they have definitely changed this one, because there was a way when they put this hole in that we could go right up to the cup and get on the cup, but now they've changed this one around. So let's go out and see how to play this hole. There's got to be some way to get on there and one, and that's what we're looking for. Anytime you're playing a par 4 for the first time, your number one goal is to try and figure out how to get on in one. Not every par 4 in Golf Clash you can get on in one, but most of them you can. You want to figure it out. Really bummed. Yesterday was my birthday, and Dune 2 is supposed to come out on Friday. But the guild actors strike, the writer's strike, caused them to delay it. Dang it! Alright, my opponent's got a Titan with 4 and a sliver of topspin. It looks like they're trying to do a rough bump out of it. Perfect. That dog will hunt right there. Right there. That dog will hunt. Roo, roo. Let's play it with the Titan. The king. The king of balls. Four, 5. There's 5. Isn't it perfect? And I barely missed that. I did about a 10% adjustment. And I probably needed to do like a 15 or a 20. I think it was 4 or 5, and I did it like a 5 mile an hour pull. 5.2, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it definitely, I bounced over the sand and I had some distance, so maybe a 20% adjustment. On the drive, I have no idea. The whole deal here is we just need to get over there so we can get an eagle. Eagle is the goal here. Chip in the draw. Chip in. Isn't it perfect? In the hole. All right. That's what we need to get on that hole. That hole. I think the first 2 holes. The first hole and that hole, we're going to have to get eagles on those. That puts us at 14 for a minimum just on those 2. Hole number 9. What is, okay, this hole here, I am curious. This is another hole. Like, how have you guys changed this hole? This hole, I saw that they had went out here and cut down all these trees that are in this, and they got rid of this big ass fairway that connected around, and they put this little ball in. I'm not sure if they've taken this shot out, if they've tightened these trees up. I'm not sure if these trees were there before. I think it was, I'm not sure. We're going to go look at it. There used to be spots that you could end up out here if you shot it out this direction where you could hit through the tree and get on the cut, but I'm not sure if those are still in there. So let's go look at it. Now, the way it used to be, if you went to the center thing and you were trying to skip it out through there, you couldn't use a lot of curl. So if you've got a Thor's hammer or whatever club you've got that's got the most topspin, extra mile. It is raining. It is storming on the Oregon coast. Where we were over there, my nephew and I set up a campfire yesterday. Last night, for whatever reason, it wasn't raining. But it was sure raining when we went and when we came home. And it is pouring down rain right now. Why does that look like he's going to overshoot it? Yep. And then it'll roll back down. Will it roll all the way back down? That's the question. Come on. No dice. Alright, let's see what our options are. Do we still have that at our disposal? We do. Let's try. And I might need that distance. Maybe. No, I'm going to need that distance. And I don't know if that'll make it. Shit, that's not going to make it. I got to put curl on it in order for that to make it. I don't know if against a headwind there, we might have to bring out a bigger ball. Yep. Just that little teeny freak shit. That's only 2 rings, and I had like 2.5 rings in there. So it's definitely pushing me a good 20%, 30% against me to keep me in the rough. I'll have to take the shot where my opponent went over on that side, because before it was difficult just to get into that spot, and it was very unlikely if you got in that spot you were actually going to have a clean shot. And that out there is really where you're trying to get. And that territory out there used to roll, like it'd come through that area and it would roll like this and then kind of come up towards the cut. But here, it's high here. So when you're coming through that area, you might hit that face and actually bounce back. We'll have to see how that rolls out, if I can get one to actually come out on the other side. It might be hard just to get into that area. There's Min. There's Max. There's Mid. I'm Mid Grizzly. What is Mid Grizz? 1-1. I'll do a straight up shot. And that is 3.8 divided by 1.1. 3.5 rings. Three and a half. Getting it perfect. If it's on the left, I overpulled. If it's on the right, I underpulled. And I almost underpulled that. That's 0 plus 0.1. I think that would hit the flagpole. If we can get to that spot. So that's one way to look at it. Let's go. I'm going to play that hole one more time because I really, in the past, have never really liked to play like straightforward. There was a shot over there, but like to try and get out of the trees was always an iffy deal. But now that they've cut all those trees down, I'm curious to see what that shot from over there looks like. My opponent, I'm not exactly sure what my opponent was doing. That ball was definitely going to go long, and I don't know if they were thinking it would roll back down that hill, but it might be a rough bump to get onto that island. We're going to find out right now. Once my opponent got a power 2 ball. Now they're trying to hit the fairway, and once again, hit it perfect. Now that one will probably roll back down. Nope. 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 They're going to get caught in the rough as well. Like thinking that it'll roll back down that hill is not unless it had some backspin on it, so that when it hit it, it sucked it back. Let's put on 4 topspin. I'm just going to do a straight up adjustment. I better add on 10. That's 4-2, 4-4. I'm going to do 2 and just a titch. Isn't it perfect? You see how far that pushed me over to the left or to the right from where I started. Now the good news is that you can easily recover from there, and pretty much any other spot on the, if you hit over to the left and you tank your shot and end up in the rough, you are probably not going to be able to recover. So you will probably see a lot of people hitting over there, and even if they get caught up, they're just like, shit, I wasn't going to be able to recover if I hit to the left, so here I can at least recover and move along. Great. That was great with a freaking precision ball. All right. I'm just going to do a straight up shot. I have no idea if we need to do anything extra. Here's max. Pull back to the +5 mark. .3 divided by max grizzly. All right. 477. Oh! That was a weird bounce. And that was like the 4th bounce, and it took some weird little deal right there. It stayed on, it looked like it stayed on line to the cup, but it did take a weird little bounce right there. I'm not sure if I like that side. I don't know. The side, if you can get down on that one shot that I took the first time, if you can get over that area down there, I've made a bunch of albies from that. You got to hit it perfect, but there is a really nice shot at albie there. The other thing I like about it is that you're downhill hitting up to the cup. And so the brake and all that stuff is not affecting your ball if you're hitting it from the left side. This side right here, I'm going to have to take that shot a few more times just to see what the deal is. I don't know if I like the drive. Like if I'm going to take that big of a risk, like if I could get over to the other side, if I could get over here taking this shot, if I could get up into this area, which I'm not sure is possible because of how they've changed this. See, you did have a little bit better angle here where you didn't have to use curl, and now you're either going to need to bring out a 3 or 4 side spin ball to pull you around. But this side over here, it seemed like before, like I said, where it kind of, and then it worked towards the cup and it started going uphill. But now that uphill thing starts right here. And I'm just wondering when your ball comes through there and hits it, if it will still travel forward or if it might actually make the ball roll back. All right, that was a look at them. I think there's still hole number 1 and hole number the other one we're going to have to pick up. So I think, you know, minimum score-wise, we're still looking at minus 14. And then obviously trying to pick up something. It's going to be a pretty... We'll see how it goes. We'll see if it's still my favorite course at the end of the week with all the... They've changed this course so many times. It's like, man, you guys keep messing up my course. Thanks for watching. Hopefully everybody has a great week. I just did not have time with the 9-hole cup to play any rounds yesterday. I had 3 rounds qualified, 2 rookies and a pro, and I wasn't able. And I think in that particular term, I had a really good, like in all my accounts, I had an opportunity to be up towards the top, but did not have time to play yesterday. So we'll see. This tournament, I should have time this week to play rounds and get, I'm going to get at least 1 or 2 accounts qualified in rookie and 1 qualified in pro, and we'll go from there. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, hit the like if you like the video, leave a comment, and ring the bell.